Hello friend, let's talk about Emacs and more specifically about Transient. I want to show you some use cases for Transient and some practical examples of how I personally use it, and hopefully you'll find this useful. I've been planning to make this in a pseudo interview fashion where I pretend to show you something and I would assume that someone else would be asking me follow-up questions and whatnot. But I'm not a streamer, right? I don't have a streaming setup. I don't even do this regularly. So this is not going to be an actual interview. It's just me. I'll be just talking and showing some things, and I fully expect this video to get longer. That maybe it should, and even though I'm hoping to focus on Transient, I will probably venture into some other topics and things, and maybe that's good. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out. So this is going to be a raw video. I'm not gonna even edit it. Maybe I'll add some visual markers and cues or whatnot, but probably will just leave it as is. So you'll have to excuse my shortcomings. Let's start with the question: what the heck is a transient? Transient is a modern command dispatcher that is now built into Emacs, and let's see, why would you need this? So it provides discoverable interfaces for some complex commands, and if you ever used Magid or Majid, however you want to call it, the Magid pop-ups are transients, right? Let me show you. So we run Magid, and this is a transient, right? This is a Magid log transient. This is merge transient. You've probably seen these, right? Transients have like prefix and suffix commands. There could be different transient states, etc. This is not going to be a comprehensive guide or tutorial how to build transients. But if you want to learn and different use cases of transients, there is a repo. I'll share the link. Let me see in my notes. I probably will find here it is. So this is positron solutions transient showcase. You can find this. It's find it here. There are a bunch of different examples and use cases, and I just want to show you some my personal use cases that I use personally, and maybe you can get inspired by my examples and start using transients in your own config. So what I'm gonna just do, I'm gonna go through my configuration, and I'm gonna grep for transient. I'm using consult. This is consult. People a lot of times they ask me how I make this pop up. Usually it appears like this. So the way how I do it, I use post frame. Post stands for point of sale, I think. Terminal. I'm not gonna get into the history why it's called post frame, but so the reason I use post frame, normally I use ultra wide monitor, and because of ultra wide, I just got tired of having to turn my head around whenever I need to type commands. So that's how it comes out like this. Anyway, let's go back to our search. I found all the uses for transient. Let's what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put it into a separate buffer. So I'm just gonna use embark collect. So embark, I use also embark with consult. Embark has this feature of collecting whatever your search results into a buffer. So let's see. Let's start with something simple. What simple do we have? Like these are some examples. Okay, GPEL. If you use this package, GPEL has a great it uses, like, it's a great example of a transient. So like if I start what is it, xg GPEL menu. So GPEL menu by itself is a transient. It has lots of features here. It's pretty complex, but it allows you to like switch different models between models, set the temperatures, like set where the response will appear, and so on and so forth. That's a great example of a transient. But this one's complex. I'm not gonna go and start dissecting that one. Let's start with something simple. I think the simple ones I have like zoom transient. So for zoom transient, I have this one, like, you know, I bound it to space ZF, so I can decrease fonts, increase fonts right here, right? Like reset font size. Then I have this full height. It takes the Emacs window, makes it like you know, on the Mac it's only applicable to on Mac. Maximize frame, full screen, and etc. etc. You can see it's pretty straightforward. It has some commands. That's like, you know, that's my zoom transient. And the next transient I have, let's see, I think I have something for colors. So yes, I switched the color themes. The way how I use color themes itself might be interesting. Let's go to colors. So I use this package called Circadian, and Circadian is actually a package that uses, Emacs has a built-in solar calendar, and Circadian utilizes that built-in solar calendar and allows you to, based on latitude and longitude, to set like at specific times to set different colors, right? So at 9 o'clock my colors automatically switch to darker theme. I got used to this, and you may have, like, you can have multiple themes, and you can see mostly I use 3 different themes: the light, the dark, and the darker one. And the way I did it, I built the transient, and basically the transient itself, let's look into the transient. It should be an auto load. Oh, here. So the transient itself, here it is. I don't know, why is it? Oh, for some reason it was not indented properly. So this is a transient. So colors load next theme is my command. So every command that you bind in transient has to be a command. It has to be interactive. So the load theme, let's actually go back to the light theme, since I started with that. So this one says, hey, it uses a feature of Emacs Lisp called the ring. The ring, basically, it can take a collection and create a ring of it. Let's do like read the documentation for this function. Ring L itself is it's a built-in package. So what this does, so this code defines a ring data structure. So this package allows you to turn just a collection of things, a list, into a ring that you can cycle through. So this is basically what's happening. It converts the the list of themes I have, right? It converts it into a ring, and basically the load next theme just says like, hey, just load the next thing in this ring. Pretty simple, and that's how it works. And so I can do like, if I do TN, right, like space TN, it switches. If I press P, it switches to previous, and L runs the consult theme command, where I can try different themes, and you can see there automatically get, like, you have a preview feature here. Okay, that's the colors, color cycle themes transient. The next interesting one is I think I have MPV transient. This one's interesting. So what this allows me to do, so this transient allows me to control videos. I watch YouTube videos and just, like, you know, any videos on through Emacs, right? Not in Emacs, because Emacs doesn't have built-in capability of rendering videos and showing videos, but you can use MPV. There's MPV.el package that allows you to control your videos. So let's see if I run one. Do I have something on YouTube? Let's see if I have YouTube. I don't have any videos. Let's pick up some video on YouTube. Do I have what was that? Hopefully it's not something bad. I don't. Oh yeah, okay. Interview with Prot. This is a good one. Let's. If I run this, right? So it takes some time because it's opening not in the browser. It's opening in MPV, and
so I was trying to practice before.
My telling window manager did this. So anyway, you can see that it perfectly can play a video. Let me minimize so this is now floating. Anyway, I can control the video from here, right? I can make it slower. I can control the volume. I can.
Is it Chronozillus?
I can stop it, pause it, like make it faster, and you know, I can show the subtitles and so on, and that's pretty much it. So basically, it's really nice to be able. Why would you like somebody may ask, like, why would you want to control your videos directly from Emacs? It's really nice when you're taking notes, so you can like pause the video, continue taking notes, like resume the video, then like, you know, write some more, and yeah, it's also nice when you're, for example, you having to review a list of video files, right? And you just going through like which ones you want to delete. A lot of times when I have videos from GoPro, for example, like or from my phone, I want to discard the bad takes and stuff like that. So it lets you just go through them like very quickly, right? And here's the interesting bit of this transient. The transient. This is a hidden section in the transient. So this by itself, it always shows, right? But this is hidden, and if I like comment it out for the sake of demonstration and run it again, you can see it shows the section, and the section is hidden. It's always is a built-in function in Emacs. So what always does, it always returns true, no matter or whatever argument you give. So if there's no argument, it always returns true. So basically it says always hide this. And then we're setting up children. We're basically programmatically creating the keys in this section, right? And we say for D, J, and K, I've written this function. So it's basically the function says I also use eval mode. So basically it says if I'm in transient, right? If I press right now, for example, that key that does not exist in this transient, so key phi does not exist. Oh, not phi. Phi is a bad example. Let's say R. R does not exist in this transient, right? So if I press R, it says oh, it's unbound. There's I don't know how to use R key with this transient, but I wanted to have a mechanism that allows me to bypass a certain keys, right? So if I add R here, right, and say, yeah, this is R, and I want it to be transient, meaning transient being transient key, it means I can press it continuously and it will repeat the command. And if I don't have a non-transient command, it just exits the transient by default, right? So if I want R key to be transient, and then I can have some command. Let's this is actually I'm using for bypass, right? So I can just say this, and it will use whatever R is directly bound to, or I can and if I want to bind R to specific key, I can just do it normal way, how it's done in transient. Hopefully that explanation is not confusing. All right, let's go back to my search. Let's the next transient I want to talk about. What else do we have here? Let's just actually go transient. This is Google Translate. Google Translate is interesting transient, although it looks simple. So if I do this, it uses Google Translate package, right? And it lets me translate things, right? So it either picks up whatever is on point, if I say, hey, transient, what is transient in, I don't know, in Spanish, I would click T, press T, and it switches the target to Spanish, right? And I would just press enter, and okay, transient in Espanol is transitorio, right? So, and I can do different things. I can, if I set source to Russian and I start typing some text, I can type some text here. It actually is supposed to be switching to Russian automatically. Why it didn't, I don't know. I should check this out. Let's say I don't know, something in Russian, and if we translate it, it translates, and so on and so forth, right? So it looks simple, but this transient has its own thing, right? This is the body of the languages, setting source. It has it's the suffix for it, and the reverse, it's the command. Yeah, I mean, if I start digging through this, it's probably it has some hairy bits. So yeah, but you can always find it in my config and see how I did it. Oh, one of the interesting things I did, so one of the cases I needed for translation. So if I'm translating from English to Spanish something like he was born in 1978, right? The numbers will not be translated, right? So if I'm translating this to Spanish, it will become like él nació en 1970. I'm still learning Spanish. I'm sorry. So anyway, the year will not be translated, and that's totally understandable. That's expectable, right? But I needed the year to be translated. I needed to see it in Spanish because I'm learning it, right? So I was looking for a solution to do this you see how it came out. It came out not like a year, right? Like 1978, right? So what I wanted to find Emacs Lisp solution for that, but I couldn't find a code that translates numbers to words. But I found an npm package for it, right? And then here where the power of Lisp comes in. Lisp allows you to advise certain functions. Advising a function means that you can, with a great flexibility, like change the specific aspects of a given function. So in my case, I didn't have to learn how Google Translate works. I just needed to find the function that sends the request to Google Translate API, right? And before sending it, if it finds a regex that looks like a year, so basically this means the boundary of a word, and if there are numbers between 3 and 4 numbers, right, and it's like again within the boundary of a word, we just replace that with running this npm command. So we go find the package, and if it's installed, we just run it. If it's not installed, we install this package, npm package, and then send the string to node saying like, hey, translate these numbers to words, and then that happens before sending the request to Google API, Google Translate API, and then that's it. Boom! It just sends it, sends the whole thing, translating numbers to words, and voila! I get what I wanted. All right, that was Google Translate Transient. Let's see what we Consult Omni Transient is interesting. So Consult Omni is a great package. What it allows you to do, it allows you to write a search query once, right? Like so, like if I press / and I start typing foo, it searches through like on GitHub, through Brave API, through Google search, in my browser history. This is my own browser history, right? YouTube and Wikipedia. You can have more sources than this. These are the sources I use. So like, you can see that I typed the request once and it just sends the request to a bunch of things. Sometimes I don't need that. Sometimes I just like need to go and Google stuff, right? Like, so if I just go Google, it searches the things on point on Google, and I can like, go through the things here. And what is great, if I like press this, it jumps to my browser. It opens in the browser. This is fine. It's expected, but I also can just copy this URL, right? I can copy this URL and then use it without even looking at the search results or the page that came out. So that's consult multi. I use it for different things. You can I can apps. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I forgot that I have this. I can run some apps. What, like, for example, QuickTime. Oh, yeah, QuickTime Player, and so it's like directly from Emacs, and this is the very much the essence of Emacs, right? So my Git transient, this function, I'm not gonna go into this. It doesn't work anymore anyway. I have to fix that. The SXP transient is an interesting one because I spend a lot of I do program in Lisp languages, in Clojure specifically, in Emacs Lisp. I have to deal with symbolic expressions a lot. So in Lisp, everything between parentheses, most of the things between parentheses are symbolic expressions, or between square brackets. So to navigate the symbolic expressions, I built a transient. Let's look at it. So this transient is S expression transient. So let's go start with Avi. Avi is a package for Emacs for jumping into things. So Avi has like Avi. I think, what was it? It's bound on me onto JJ. So what is command called? I forgot. Let's see. Evil Avi go to char timer. So Avi has go to. So if I do Avi go to char, right, and say I want to go char like character that is E, and it says like I found like so many E's here, which one you want? And now I can press AF, right, and it jumps to the exact place I want. It seems silly until you start using it. Like, let's see, I use this one, like I said, this command, Avi go to char timer, so it goes with the timer, so it allows you to type fast. So if I do this and start like typing target, you see like it finds the exact things. It found like things that start with target. And if I want to jump to language, like I just quickly type language and it finds anything that like I had enough time to type lang, and it found anything that has lang in it, right? Like, and if I press K, I could jump. So using that AV machinery, now I build this thing A, right? It allows me to jump to the beginning of any symbolic expression, right? All the symbolic expression, which one? Like you to the beginning of this one. Oh, I want to be here. Like, and similarly, Shift A is for the end of the expression. Very conveniently, if I I do it a lot. It's pretty cool. So wrapping and unwrapping is self-explanatory. Wrap and unwrap. Redent, raise, convolute. Raise is like all these commands are built-in commands. Like they're either in some people use parent per edit. There are different like packages and different techniques that you use for structural. It's called structural editing because you're dealing with the structure, right? Like, so for example, I can take this and say raise this. You see what happened? It just like blow out everything that was holding it, and it just like went up. I will undo this. So convolute is interesting case. I rarely use it. Like, let's see what happens if I press C. You see that, like, you see what it did? It convoluted the expression. Again, I don't use it a lot, but when you have, there are certain cases when you can do it, like, you can get used to it quickly. Transposing is self-explanatory, so it basically transposes two expressions. So if I want this become like, if I'm changing the branching in if and else, right? So if I say like and then in this case I would say like not, right? Like something like that. So anyway, so it allows you to do this splitting, joining, all these are commands like, I can split this one into multiple, or split this one into like, and this is becomes like a expression by itself. I can narrow on specific expression, like, Emacs has narrowing functionality. It allows you to narrow the focus in a specific buffer to specific things. So you can narrow and widen on, like, if I'm focused on this thing and I want to see only this thing, it narrows to specific things in the buffer. And if I want to widen it, it goes back to widening it, right? Slurping is the usual thing. Like, so if I have, let's barf this out. Barfing means like just kicking it out. Slurping, it means it sucking the thing from the right side. There is also left slurp and left barf. So if I do this, kicked out. Oh no, like let's see. If I want to kick this out to the other, like, you can see it shifted to the left from the left side. Killing, the symbolic expression is really just the command copying, selecting, undo. Evaluation of the current, and pretty printing. What is interesting about this transient that you don't see, let's actually find the code for it. Oh no, this is not expreg. Expreg is similar to the SexP transient. So let's actually find this. This is the transient. Okay, so navigation, we see that we can navigate through transient using just regular keys, and it's always hidden. I don't need to see these keys, right? Like, so when I press KJ, you can see it's going through transient, and I'm just using the regular commands. These are commands from the package called smart parens. So this is just going up and down through the symbolic expressions. I'm just calling them, but I'm using as transient because, like, every time I press J, it's not closing my transient. It allows me to keep pressing the keys and going down, up, left, and right, and so on, right? So again, the navigation keys, I don't need to see them, so they always hidden. This entire section is always hidden. Bypass keys, again, like, I wanted to bypass keys, so I use space, right, like as my leader key. Anybody who uses Doom or Spacemacs, they are familiar with what leader key is. So I wanted normally if I'm in a transient, right, if I'm in a transient, pressing space does nothing. It would say like, oh, I don't know what to do with space. So I wanted to bypass it to return the space, like, use space like as it ignore the transient, right? Like, it basically closes the transient, uses space as is. But if I do like space T here, it becomes transient. So it will use the space, but it will not close the transient. But anyway, you get the idea. So I am bypassing certain keys because, if I'm in this transient, I still would want to be able to, like, to go to the jump to the end of the expression, or the 0 takes me to the beginning of line. This is normal. Vim, evil behavior, or $sign takes you to the end of line, and so on. So I wanted these keys to work normally, without interfering with the transient. Otherwise, I would have to, like, for each key, have to define its own like dedicated command in place, and that blows up the transient. So this section you saw, like, this is pretty much the next interesting, the things that that it's not obvious in the transient. So we'll talk about expansions. Express stands for the expand region, right? And we'll get into that in a moment. So like I said, these symbolic expressions are used in other Lispy languages, like in Clojure. In Clojure, like, you can see that I'm saying, like, hey, eval current in this mode. This is my command. This is the custom command I wrote. So it says, like, hey, if you're in Clojure mode, use CIDR to evaluate this expression. CIDR is a Clojure interactive development in Emacs that rocks. So CIDR is a thing that you would use if you use Clojure. So it's saying, like, if it's Clojure mode, do this. If it's not, then just use smart parents to eval the current expression, which is eList mode. And if I use like other list modes later, I can add this, extend this command, and it will just work. So basically, I would do open my transient and do EC, and it will eval. This is like, it's errored because I cannot eval this in place. It doesn't know what is exactly what I'm trying to do. If I though quote it, this will eval normally, right? Like, because if I don't quote it, it will try to see, like, what is like, try to run this as a function. So anyway, we have this eval to comment. It says, like, hey, if you're in Clojure mode, then evaluate this thing and put it into comment. So, and then there's another section. I probably could move these all into the section, but then it will be hidden, right? So, and this one is interesting. It's hidden, not always, but only when transient show common commands is true, and by default it's true. So let me explain this part. So when I have a transient, pressing Control X and T, you see it shows common commands. Now you can see that some commands here shown up, right? Like, so it's now a bigger transient, but there are some additional commands that's popping up here. So space, oh, it's not, wait, it's not showing this. Oh, because I'm not in Clojure mode. So it's saying if you're in Clojure mode, use this, add this section. And if the show common commands is on, then you show them. Like, let's just, for the sake of demonstration, let's jump into some Clojure file. So in this Clojure mode file, if I open this, you can see that it adds like some more things to the transient. And there's an entire section here in transient, like, this is for wrapping these called threading macros in Clojure. So you can wrap in threading macros on thread, and like wrap into comment block and stuff like that, right? Like, you will see the similar examples with the Express transient that we'll be looking at next. So hopefully this makes sense. And let's get into Extract Transient. So Extract Transient is again, it uses expand region package called Expreg. So what is it for? When I press space V, it selects something, and the transient works the way that if I keep pressing V, it keeps expanding this thing, right? So it's easily illustrated with paragraphs. Let's add some. I have Lorem Ipsum package, so if I add some paragraphs of text, right? Let's turn this into Markdown buffer. Markdown mode, Markdown mode. So this is Markdown mode. Let's disable our spell checking. So now if I select this word, it selects, and if I keep pressing V, and because it's transient, it just keeps expanding. You can see it expands until it gets the word, then the sentence, then the line, then the paragraph. Totally cool. That's totally that's fine. But here are interesting bits, right? Like since we're in Markdown, let's go through Markdown. So if I press when my transient is open, and you can see once I if I start selecting things, it just opens my transient. I will show how I got this done. So once I select this, because in Markdown, if I press semicolon plus star asterisk, it does this, right? If I select something and say go italicize that, right? It takes me just literally 2 keys to to italicize that. This is pretty cool. Another thing I have there's code. If I want to turn this into a piece of code, I press semicolon plus tick, and it wraps it into the whole thing. So the insert link is it just inserts a link. Browser URL, this is interesting. So I can select something, right, and press Control C capital L, and it actually goes to my browser. It didn't work. Oh no, it did. It goes to my browser, grabs the URL from the browser, the current URL in the browser, and turns it into this is actually this didn't work right. It turned it into a org mode link, not Markdown link. I didn't know that. I guess I have a bug, right? So let's try to fix this bug. Emacs Transient insert browser URL. So it says copy link, region beginning, major mode. So this is not working, right? So let's put a debugger right here. Edebug. I'm just gonna do it very simple way. And now I'm gonna run this command again. Press the keys that lead to running this command. It was Control C capital L. Oh no, in the transient, right? Control C capital L, and it stopped where it was, right? So we say, what is the major mode here? It will say Markdown mode. So I don't know why this is not working. PKs. Let's look into documentation of PKs. PKs, blah blah blah. Let's see if we have some examples. PKs map. Let's see if the manual has pretty much the same stuff. So success message, success. I don't know why it's not working. This should work, right? But let me just check if pk is major mode, right? And then we say Markdown. Oh, that is why it didn't work, because I have a typo here. It should be like this, right? Right. Let's see. I use lexical blah blah blah. That should be fine. All right. We can. I eval the function. We can try again, and if I do it right now, Control C, capital L. No, it's still not doing the Markdown mode. Let me move it up. Let's see what happens. Now I'll do this. Control C, capital L. Yep, now it's Markdown. So it's ignoring. Anyway, I'll try to fix it later. It's fine. I don't want to waste my time on fixing this function. You get the idea. So it inserts a browser link. This one's interesting. Wrap code in a block. So if I have a selected block, it probably better to demonstrate with a separate paragraph. And if I do this, and if I press semicolon and C, you can see it wraps it in a specific block and puts the cursor where I want it to be. So now I can say this is like, I don't know, Emacs Lisp. In some markdowns, like GitHub flavored Markdown understands these markers. Most of them they don't, so that's why I don't. By default, I'm not trying to find what mode there should be. The collapsible is interesting also. The collapsible case. Let's undo this, and if I just wrap it into collapsible, so it creates this collapsible thing that you can. It's good, for hiding logs and stuff. And if you have a stack trace and you want to present it on GitHub in the issue or something, I do it a lot. So this is very convenient. And these are the closure things similar to the previous transient we saw. Yep. Let's move to next transients. We have GPEL. I built the extension of GPEL transient. Not I can call it extension, because GPEL transient itself. Let's see, space xg. GPEL transient is a big transient by itself, and I have a simpler one specifically for editing text, right? So, and the reason I had to build my own transient, so I can easily switch between different prompts. You can now you can see I have multiple prompts, and if I press 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just switches between prompts, right? Let's explore this transient. So this is GPEL improved text transient. So boom, 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 boom. No, that's not it. Text, right? Improved text transient. Okay, so we have a description, and for the description, I wanted to. You can see that it's using the prompt as the description, which is unconventional, but it does it. It works for me. So that's the description. Also can be a function, which is great, right? It doesn't have to be static string. You can build it dynamically. Then I have the prompt variations toggling. So basically it goes to hey, go to your history of your prompts, right? Index them, go map index them. So basically taking the index and the prompt, and basically it creates the keys from 1 to like how many, like 5, like I'm doing only for 5 latest prompts, right? Like from history, and like if I don't have history, I have like default prompts, something like this, right? So, and it basically, it will make more sense in the next example I will show in the next transient, but that's the transient I have, and I specifically made it so I could quickly switch between different prompts here by pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another transient. So the next transient I want to show is I have orgnoter transient. I'm not gonna show you orgnoter. So orgnoter is a package that allows you to annotate your PDFs while reading the documents. So let's look into the code here. So I can start the noter, I can add a note, I can anchor specific note to specific page. This is basically, it's hard to explain. I mean, like, I have to show it, but it's not super important. Very interesting piece of this transient, why transient is nice. So I can press like K and J and scroll down, up and down the document, even if I'm like, not like, so basically I did it so I wouldn't have to switch all the time. Like, I would be taking notes, and if I want like to scroll the document, the PDF itself, I would like, scroll it with the keys in my transient without having to switch to a different window, which is kind of like it really nice. So the next transient I want to look into, that we did the colors. The next one I have is the tabs transient. I use tab bars, and you can see that I am using tab bar. This is a built-in feature of Emacs called tab bar mode, and the tabs in Emacs, unlike other editors, they're not made specifically just to show like files. They can be anything. I use them to separate context. So like usually if I'm working in a specific project, right, I can say, oh, this is the project I'm working on, and it will be isolated here. The context of it will be isolated, the windows and all that. So I have tabs transient as well. So like when I open it, it allows me, if I do like press tab key, it jumps to the most recent tab. I can open new tab, and it on its own like opens another transient, and this transient is contains a bunch of templates, right? So if I want to, from here, like whenever I open a new tab, I open a new tab for a reason, right? Like for example, I want to jump to a specific project, or I want to see the list of buffers and open one of the buffers in that new tab. Or if I want to open my dot files that I manage all my dot files from org mode. At some point I will give like this one requires its own demo. So if I want to open Hacker News page, also it would be great to have the demo, how I use Hacker News and Reddit, how I read them in Emacs, and so forth. So yeah, it's basically a bunch of templates, and I control my tabs with this, right? Like if I press DD, it kills the tab. I can kill all the project buffers like all the buffers that in doomd they will be closed, but I don't want to do it right now. So yeah, you can see that I have great flexibility of doing things with transients. I have, like, with the tabs I can move them around. There's some history and other things, but I guess that's all. Yes, I don't know if I should have covered more. Um, should have If I should have gone deeper and talk about the details. So there are interesting things, like, you can also, the transients are flexible in the sense that even like existing transients, you can totally have modifications to them. So for Magid transient, right? Like I have my own keys added. So for example, to the log transient, I wanted to add specific command, 2 dots original head. So this is a specific, if you don't know, like this is the built-in git log command. So if I do git log original head, it's basically there's 2 and 3 dots difference, but it basically like it gives you the difference between the last time you pulled, right? So this is very useful command for me personally. So I wanted to add it to the log transient. So if I do my git log, and then you can see that I have like additional things. So you can easily add additional things to the existing transients. They are relatively easy to extend, right? So I think that's all I have today. Write some comments, ask questions, tell me what other topics you want me to cover next time. Hopefully that was useful. All right, till next time, bye.